Steve Jewin for MMAmania.com. This interview with Dutch kickboxer and mixed martial artist Melvin Manhoef was recorded on November 12, 2015, just over a week away from the main event of Bellator 146, where he will be facing Hisaki Kato. It's at the WinStar World Casino in Thackerville, Oklahoma, and it's also on Spike TV that night if you can't be there in person. But without further ado, let's get to the legendary kickboxer Melvin Manhoef and get his thoughts on fighting Hisaki Kato in the main event of Bellator 146.
Melvin?
Yes.
Okay, I have Steve on the line for you.
This is Steve Jewin from MMA Mania. How are you doing today?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I really appreciate you taking the time today. I've got a lot to ask you, and I want to start with something Hisaki Kato said to me yesterday. He said that since we haven't seen you in over half a year now, that he thinks you're going to be a completely different fighter and the most dangerous Melvin Manhoef he's ever seen. Do you think he's right?
Yeah, he's right. I've been doing a lot of things, and, a lot of thinking, and I have, a good training camp now. I went to Sweden, trained with Gustafsson, trained with Ile, all the guys. I was in Sweden for a long time, so I'm going to be sharp and I'm going to be hardcore. I think I'm going to be, as how people know me, and I don't have, any side things, because I had too much things on my head, the gym, this, that, organizations, all these kind of things, and now I'm totally free and I'm just focusing on this fight, and that's it. So I was I take a good rest, and I think I'm gonna be okay. What people are know where they know me for, so I will bring that. I'm going to bring that.
Well, we definitely know you for the striking game, and your power in your hands is ferocious and fearsome to see. So, do you expect it's going to be a stand-up war for however long the fight lasts?
Yeah, of course. I always think that it's going to be a stand-up war, and this is always how I go into the fight. But if the fight will go to the ground, I have trained so good with all the guys. I'm also not afraid to be on the ground anymore. Before it was different, but I think I can be on the ground, fight on the ground, fight up, stand up. So it doesn't matter where the fight has to go. The fight has to go only one way, and at the end that I win the fight. So.
Well, that's interesting because Kato said to me that he feels that his ground game is underappreciated as well because he's known for knockouts too. So he says that his ground game has evolved and improved and that if you guys went to the ground, it would be a really fun fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight, because I saw his fights, and he likes to stand and bang, and if that is what he decides to do, I'm willing to do that with him. So the fans and everybody will enjoy the fight. And if you want to go to the ground, I'm also willing to do that. So for me, it doesn't matter. I've been training so hard, I'm putting so much time and effort in everything. So for me, it doesn't matter what's going to happen. It's going to be a fun fight, and I'm going to enjoy it. And this is what I'm going to do. So.
Oh, we're looking forward to the fight, too. It's going to be a great event in Thackerville coming up in just over a week. But if I can, I'd like to roll back to the fight with Alexander Shlemenko, and not the result so much as the result after the result. What did you think when you learned that he failed the drug test?
Yeah, that he failed the drug test, that doesn't matter. At that moment, he win the fight. It doesn't mean, for me. So at that moment, he was winning the fight. The fight, I had too much on my head, did too much things, and that's nothing about, you cannot complain. When you fight, then you accept, and then there is no turning back, and then you can say, yeah, but this or that, so I don't want to take for him his win, and for the normal people it's no contest, you understand? So it doesn't matter. And at that moment, of course, it's fucked up, it is what it is, but I cannot help him. Everybody decides what they have to do, and the only thing is that I know that he was really afraid then if he used so much to fight against me.
Well, yeah, it was so much that it was like a 50-to-1 ratio. It's practically unheard of for a drug test failure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I make a joke of it, but it is what it is. And maybe we will meet each other one more time, but I don't think so. But
yeah, it doesn't seem likely that he's going to be fighting in the United States again. Maybe somewhere else around the world. Maybe he could do it overseas, but it probably won't happen here because I don't think any commission is going to let him fight again after that. That's just my speculation. But with the ban that California threw at him, it feels like that. So
okay. No problem. That's fine.
Yeah, you're moving on from that fight anyway. That's no longer a concern for you. So let me put it in a different light then. We'll forget about that fight. I want to know, right now this middleweight division, it's completely overturned with Brandon Halsey losing the title and Rafael Cavallo being the new champion. So I know you're focused on Hisaki Kato, but what do you think of that possibility of fighting Cavallo down the line?
It doesn't matter who I fight. Now the focus is on Hisaki, and I really want to do this first. I'm really focused on Hisaki Kato because this is the first match what I have to do. I have to win this one, and then we can focus on other things. But I wanted to say that of course I want to become champion because this is where we do it for. This is where I fight for. And it is easy to become champion when everything is going great. You understand? When you're winning fights, then you have to become champion. But it's more difficult to become champion when it wasn't so good. I have like 2 losses and still I'm gonna be here and still I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna bring my A game again and I'm really gonna do it, And at that moment, if I can become champion again, it would be more deserved and nice for me to become champion because then I know that I really came from far and this is how true warriors and fighters are, So, of course, this is now, this is also what I want, but overall, we have to face Kato first and this is what I'm focusing on now. And then we will focus on the rest, and Bellator and Scott will tell me what to do next. But first is this.
I want to use the word focus as well. When you say focus, does that mean that the focus is solely on mixed martial arts and not kickboxing? Or are you still going to be doing both going forward?
No, for now, the focus is on mixed martial arts. I wanted to do, this is the focus now. This is the focus on mixed martial arts. And maybe I'm gonna do one farewell fight in the K1 or in K1 style maybe or something like this. But for now, I want to have the focus on MMA because I think I had like a very good training camp with the guys from All Star, and they treated me well. And I was like training jiu-jitsu, training with the best guys, training wrestling. I did like a lot of things and I enjoyed it very much, and it was a good camp. And I think that if I can focus and keep myself doing this for like a half a year, I think that people are gonna have like a real problem, and I think that is what I want. So I'm gonna go for it.
Well, you mentioned training with some really good guys, getting ready for this next fight, guys that you love working with, and one of the names you mentioned was Alexander Gustafsson. What did you think of his fight with Daniel Cormier and his recent fights in general?
Yeah, he had a great fight and a superior fight, He did what he had to do. He take Cormier down, it was an awesome fight. So, this is how I think about him, and I really have a lot more respect than I had already for him, So because of his performance.
Yeah, I think he's destined to be one of those fighters that always has the best fight of the night where he doesn't win the title. It's kind of ironic, but he's done it over and over again.
Over and over. There's other fight also, but it is what it is, And I'm glad that he helped me for this fight for Bellator because this is the main goal that I was there to prepare myself for the fight in Bellator, you know. So, and he helped me. He helped me a lot.
Now, going back to Hisaki Kato, you mentioned that you saw his fight from June, and that Superman punch, it doesn't always land, it doesn't always knock people out, but he timed that absolutely perfectly, and you two have a common opponent in Joe Schilling, so when you saw that, did you think, man, I want to do that to Joe Schilling myself?
Of course, but I was doing it great against Joe Schilling, I think, you know, in the first round. I don't think that I would, the first round, that I lost the first round, I think, you know. That I lost the fight is a different story, you know, because that is like a little bit of myself, my recklessness that I march in, you know, and got me fair and square, so he win the fight. So, of course I wanted to knock him out, but this is what every fighter, and every fight that I have, what I do, I want to knock people out. So,
And nobody was more surprised after that first round than me, because like you said, I felt that you won that first round pretty decisively. I thought it could have even been a 10-8 in the first.
Yeah, because I rocked him like 2 times, I think, you know, but it doesn't matter, you know. That's what I mean, you know. We cannot, at the end, it only counts win or lose. It doesn't count that I had a great fight. I have like all my losses that I had, I was knocking people, I was putting the pressure on people, I was kicking people, I kicked Lobiola's ass, I kicked, you know, Dunyan Sik, I kicked like all the guys, I was kicking Paulo Filio, you know, I was like beating them up, but still, they caught me with a or armbar or a KO, or they KO'd me, you understand? So, and at the end, this is the only thing what is counting. You understand that they win. Period. And what I did, yeah, but it was not enough.
You used the word reckless, and I'm curious, when you say that, do you mean that you're overly aggressive, that you need to hold back more in fights, or is it just a matter of having the right technique to not get caught with a shot?
Yeah, it's when you're like, when you constantly are like attacking, that you're gonna leave some gaps, you know, it's normal. When you're rushing forward to finish the fight, you know, of course sometimes you're gonna open some gaps, you know, and it's not about like the technical things or something, yeah, of course. But there is a moment that my hand has to go away from my head, otherwise the punch won't come, you understand? So, yeah, and that time, sometimes it's like I'm too eager to do that, and yeah, it cost me a lot of fights, but it is what it is. This is how I am, you understand? I'm like a fighter. You know, you have sportsmen and fighters, and I think that I'm a fighter. I like to fight. I like to blow. I like to bang, and this is what I get paid for, you know, to win fights, entertain people, and knock people out. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I couldn't agree more. You're a fighter. You love to fight. We love to watch you fight, and it makes me want to know, how many more years do you think we'll be seeing you fight?
You know, I don't know yet. You know, we're gonna take it step by step, because I'm also like, you know, 29 years old now. You know, so no, I'm like 39, you know, I feel like 29, so that's why, but it depends how the body takes it, you know. My body is very good conditioning, and yeah, we will see, you know. I think that I want to become champion first and then say goodbye, but I want the belt. I want the belt. I really want to say goodbye to MMA as like a Bellator champion, you know.
I think that would be a great finale to your career if that's the way you ended. If you left as the champion, retired as the champion, it could be a fitting note on what's already been a fantastic career.
Yeah, I had a fantastic career, I know, but with that, it's like the cherry on the cake, man.
Cherry on the cake. That may just be the headline for this article then, because we'll see if you can put that cherry on the cake starting on November 20th with Hisaki Kato. But before I let you go, I want to say, Mr. Manhoef, I really appreciate the time, and if you want to thank any sponsors or throw out any plugs, I want to give you that opportunity.
yeah, I want to thank All Stars, the guys from there who helped me. The guys also, Ed and George from Black House, were arranging everything for me. You know, and all the people and the fans I want to thank. So, and that they are still supporting me no matter what. You know, this is like how it is. You know.
Fans will support you no matter what, and they're going to turn out and see you fight at the WinStar World Casino in Thackville, Oklahoma on November 20th. And we're looking forward to it, and thank you again for the time today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for checking out the interview. Read the full article on MMAmania.com.